get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, come on. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah. Say hello to somebody around you. Here we go. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded, hey David, come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. All right. Woo.
Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. How is everybody today? Yeah, you look fabulous. Oh my, I could feel the energy in this room. It's wonderful. All right, so let's get started. Dr. Joe's got a great talk for us today, so let's get started. Let's say our mission statement together, please, and say it with enthusiasm.
We are a dynamic, open, and positive faith community that accepts all religions. Our mission is to awaken you to your divine nature, empowering you to create the life of your dreams. We are changing lives one heart at a time.
All right. So let's see what's going on. We got a lot of stuff going on. Today is the last day you can sign up for the buy a poinsettia and put the names that you're honoring for the poinsettia so that it will be in our Christmas program. So please fill out the certificate and put how many you're buying and give it to the office. Today, the pet ministries out there, they're desperate need of blankets and food. So please bring those in during the week. That would be wonderful. And then you can continue with the toys and the food. We're going to be, well, actually, today's last day because we're going to be distributing those. But we want to thank everybody who has brought wonderful gifts for the children and the food for the valley. It's wonderful. This Wednesday night is movie night. So Sue Powell has given us this great movie to show. It's free. Please show up. It's a healing documentary. So change your mind, change your body, change your life. Where have we heard that before? I don't know. Dr. Joe.
Hey there. Good morning. So next Sunday, we are going to have a 10 o'clock service on Sunday morning. So if you come at 11, you will have missed the whole thing. So what time is the service next week? 10 o'clock. Okay. Then we also have two services on Christmas Eve, one at 5:30 and one at 8 o'clock. The 5:30, if you haven't gotten your tickets so far, the tickets are already gone for the 5:30. So if you want to join us for the 5:30, you sort of have to go standby, right? Standby. But we have plenty of tickets for the 8 o'clock candlelight service. So we hope you join us at 8 o'clock. Grab your tickets. Make sure you have a seat for that. So again, what time is the service next Sunday? 10 o'clock. And then if not, we'll see you at 5:30 or at 8 o'clock. I'm going to start a class on January 8th called Beyond Limits. It's a time for you to launch into a new 2018. This is a great course to do that. I decided to delete the tuition and make it a love offering class only, Ooh, yes. So that will make a lot more people be able to go in. If you're going to take it for credit, we'll talk about all of that. But what I want you to do is show up the first night. Just show up the first night, because you're going to find out that it's going to be an incredible opportunity for you to change the way you're looking at your life, changing the way your life is going forward. But you have to show up to do that. So that class will be offered on Monday mornings and Monday evenings. So I hope you show up and sign up so we make sure we have enough workbooks.
Yes, and remember, shift does not just happen. It takes work. So here comes Paul. I'm going to introduce Paul. He's going to talk to you about our Reignite.
So good morning. How are you this morning? Excellent. So I wanted to unapologetically talk to you for just a second about our Reignite campaign, and this is the financial affairs of the center. So for 2018, our Reignite campaign has come in on target and maybe just a little bit over. So congratulate yourself and thank you for giving, for participating, for your contribution. We do have an opportunity, however, for 2017 in these final weeks to create an opportunity for you to give a tax-deductible donation. We're down about $50,000 from where we want to be for 2017. That is not so much joyous news. But we would love for you to take the opportunity. If you have a little extra, it's the giving season, right? So if instead of giving to Pier 1, give to the Center for Spiritual Living, we would love to have your participation so that we can end the year in the same way that we're beginning 2018, in the black, and get things going on the right way. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. I'm going to go through the classes really fast. So please, we have a sign-up table. We have a sign-up table out front with all the classes, the flyers. If you want information or you want to sign up, you can sign up. And a few of the instructors will be out there. I'll be out there if you have any questions. So let's get going. January the 4th, Dale is doing her the Untethered Soul book study. It's a fabulous book. Join her. And then on Tuesday mornings, she's doing Building a Healing Consciousness, which is 8 weeks. I'm doing my Busting Loose from the Money Game starting January the 9th. I don't know how long that'll go. It'll go till we finish it. And Sue Powell is starting Learn Primordial Sound Meditation, and that starts January 10th for 4 weeks. So please sign up, and there's sign-up sheets out there. And finally, we are having a New Year's Eve party that the Rainbow Alliance is sponsoring. It's at the Meeks home, which is beautiful. They've opened their home again. So please sign up out there so they know how many people to come will be coming, and it's a potluck. So that's it. So I'm going to turn it over to Jerry Lynn. We have great music today because it's our CSL ensemble. So Jerry Lynn.
Thank you, Reverend Lord. Good morning, everybody. How many of you remember the 70s? Disco. Donna Summer. Wow. That many, huh? Okay. Jay, would you give them some of that disco groove? And I'll count you all in. And I want you to help us out by doing this. And if you're really adventurous, woo, woo. Chase Huda in the house. Woo! 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and
James Una, Jerry Lynn. Thanks, Jace. Wait, come here. Wait, come here. Really?
Yeah, really?
Try not to be bitter. Try not to be bitter. Good morning, everybody. Let's do some work. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. One more time. Deep breath in. Well, if you're anything like our household, there's a whole list of things to do. There's a whole bunch of activities to be started and taken care of and purchased and wrapped and done and just all of that stuff. But for a moment, I'd like you to take yourself out of that action and that energy and allow yourself to move into a space where there's just you and the very thing breathing you and an opportunity to go into this quiet time. No need to figure out any answers, no need to even think about the lists or things that have to be done today, just being fully present in this moment right here. Let's take another deep breath in. All to Spirit I surrender. All to Thee I freely give. I will always love and trust You, and in Your presence daily live. All to Spirit I surrender. All that's good is wholly mine. In Your presence, in this oneness, through You I am power divine, and I surrender all. I surrender all to Thee, my blessed Spirit, I surrender all.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Blessed are You, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who provides us our daily needs, who blesses us so, and who commands us on this day to light the Hanukkah candles. And I invite you to join me in consciousness right here, right now, as we just go within to that stillness, that love, that light that burns brightly within all beings, knowing that God is everywhere present. It is all-loving, all-knowing, all-generous. And as I stand here today and recognize that one, I know that it has its life in me and I have my life in it. And everywhere I go, there is God, not just in me, but all around me, in all beings, in all circumstances. The presence of God is visible. And so I invite you to take these words as your own if they resonate for you. As I affirm on this beautiful December day that God is all there is. And as I know this to be true, my faith is deepened and my spirit soars. For I know that as God and I are one, I can do anything I choose to do in my life. knowing that I am always supported. I am always guided rightly. I am always provided for everything I need. And so this gives rise to courage, a courage that is unstoppable, a courage that is deep and strong, a courage that allows me to be free in this life, to never think twice about the direction I am to go. For I know that my heart is connected to spirit, and that courage moves me in new directions, new places to be, new experiences to have, knowing that that is what life is all about, to be stretched, to be expanded, to do more, to be more, to be what I was born to be, the authentic me. And so I am grateful to know that as I stand here in this spiritual community that is so loving and so supported and supportive, I know that in our oneness, we hold that truth for each other. We give each other courage. We give each other strength. We give each other faith to know that we are never alone. We are always with God, in God, immersed in it. And so I'm grateful for this service, that we are all here together to celebrate the light of spirit that dwells within us, to be inspired by Dr. Joe and our band, to be prayed for and lifted up by our practitioners and our ministers, and to just come together in love, knowing that God is always guiding us, and love is always what is our common ground. And so with gratitude in my heart and soul for everything that is taking place today, knowing that we are changing our minds and we're changing our lives and living in love, I now release my word into that perfect law of mind, knowing it is done. And so join me as we say together, and so it is. Amen.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I awake in this holy silence. I hear all that has never been said, and right here in this holy silence we find God when we find ourselves. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So we awake in this holy silence. We hear all that needs to be said, and right here in this holy silence we find God when we find ourselves. And I find God when I find myself. And you find God when you find yourself. a deep breath in. And get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, get ready, my soul. Please join me. And get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, get ready, my soul. Get ready, get ready, my soul.
Was touched with my soul. Had nowhere to run, had nowhere to go. Inside of my dream, thought it would be the end of me. I thought that I would need you. I had no hope to hold on to. I thought I would break. I didn't know my own strength, and I crashed down and I tumbled. straight.
Beautiful, Jerry Lynn. Thank you. Beautiful. Let's hear for this band and the backup singers, too. Let's hear for everybody, guys. You do a great job for us. Today we're going to talk about living a life of courage, and I've got quite some stories to share for you this week. This month we've been contemplating this. We've embraced the equality of being honest and strive to let our inner convictions match our outer actions. We express wholeness, honesty, and fairness in our relationships and activities. Let's say that last line together, please. We express wholeness, honesty, and fairness in our relationships and activities. As we enter into the beautiful holiday season and family gatherings, let's remember and say the last line again together. We express wholeness, honesty, and fairness in our relationships and activities. Point taken. Here we go. Here's your affirmation for the day. Let's go together. Infinite intelligence governs, guides, directs, sustains, and animates my life. The infinite mind knows no mistake. Do you believe that? That was tentative. Good, I'm glad, because that's going to be our talking point. Let's say the last line again. The infinite mind knows no mistakes. Really? Okay. Well, I have a story to share with you for those of you who came to the first service or heard about the first service. So this week, I had a little incident medically, and I had to take another ride in an ambulance. In fact, my husband was really happy because it's my 10th time. They punched my card, I get a free ride. So there you are. I told the joke for you. Did it make you happy? Okay, good. So I had a little heart thing happen. Now, it's no big deal because it was just something it was an upper respiratory thing I caught on an airplane, and it mimicked a heart attack. And of course, we didn't know that at the time. So at the time, we're at home, and it's Tuesday night, and I'm sort of, short of breath and having some chest pains, and he's kind of freaking out because I'm freaking out, and we're dialing 911, the whole thing, right? And I'm thinking, oh my God, here I am again. How could you keep making these mistakes and having all this happen to me? Why is this happening? Has anyone ever said that to you? Why? Have you ever said it to yourself? Why, God, is this happening to me? Anybody? Yeah, and you think, okay, but I have to sit there and remind myself, but the universe doesn't make mistakes. And I'm thinking, okay, run with this. Even though it was really uncomfortable and I'm kind of like a fish on the dock, flapping away, trying to get my air, and the paramedics telling me to stop moving around. We have to get your EKG, and I'm like, no, I can't stop moving. Stop, leave me. Anyway, so there's no mistakes in this because there's lessons to be learned from this, and that's what I came for. No one can become either discouraged or afraid if they realize that there is but one mind which they may consciously use. So in a situation like that, when you're in a crisis situation, what mind are you using? God's mind or your fear-based mind? Yeah, it calls to question, where do you automatically go? Where do you go first? And it's a scary situation because it's very human to feel those reactions. And in our humanity, we begin to feel things and we're like, wait a minute, but isn't that contrary to what we're talking about when we talk about belief and faith? Isn't that contrary to all the things that we say here on Sunday and we teach in our classes? But yet, when the thing happens, there's that moment where you question and you go, oh my God, why now? What the heck's happening? What did I do wrong? Anybody? Does anybody can relate to that? Okay, so we're not alone, right? We're not alone. But realize this, you can only become discouraged if you entertain the non-godlike thought. You can only become discouraged when you break off from your own spiritual convictions. No one else can make you do that. There's a point in our mind, there's a fork in the road that we reach where we go like this, okay, it's either fear or faith. What seed am I planting in that moment? And we're the ones who take the next step. Does that make sense? Do not entertain discouragement, fear, or unbelief. Not just casually, but especially when chips are down, when things are happening in the world and in your life, when we entertain those thoughts, basically we're planting those seeds of experience to flourish in our own life. When we entertain thoughts of discouragement or fear or disbelief, we are doing nothing but planting the seeds of failure or failure-like feelings in our own life experience, because the universe cannot reject the seeds of our thought. It accepts all of them. It can't just say, oops, that's not a good seed, can't take that. There's no line there. There's no deflector there. It's always the acceptor of the seed that we're planting. So in those moments where we're called to be faithful, we have to ask ourselves the question, what seed am I planting in that moment? Because whatever seed I'm planting, I'm going to have a big old crop full of it. Crop, not crap, but crop. All right? No one who has tried this has failed. It would be impossible to do so. If any thought that they have failed, let them realize that somewhere they have fallen short of the divine calling. The truth cannot fail, for it is God, the absolute and unconditioned one who is the truth. So anyone who attempts this, who tries this, will not fail. The only thing that fails us is when we let ourselves down in faith. Because those who keep that will continue to move forward and confidently in the right direction. Now, that doesn't say they're not going to get bumps along the road. No one says the path is easy, but it does say this. For those who stay on the path of that kind of idea of conscious faith and conscious living, the path becomes easier. It didn't say it was going to be laid out with gold lame, right? It doesn't say that. It's not going to be gold. It's going to be just the way it's supposed to be. But you're going to be engaged in the process, allowing yourself to be the distinguisher of those thoughts. Does that make sense? So no one has tried this and failed. The only failure ever comes is when I admit to myself that I'm entertaining those thoughts. Are you with me? Good. Together, please. Infinite intelligence governs, guides, directs, sustains, and animates my life. The infinite mind knows no mistake. All right. God and I are always a majority. God and I are always a majority. What is deep in the heart is always the will of God through me, and therefore supported by this infinite presence. You are in the business of life. You and I were in the business of life, of living. Our lives require business-like transactions. Think about it. In business, businesses are there to generate income for themselves, to sustain themselves, to give of itself, to be of service to other people, to take care of itself. We are in business. Your body is in business of living. Our minds are in the business of living. We have a partner in that corporation, that me corporation. And that partner is the infinite mind and universe. It's not the partner you married. It's not the partner you divorced. It's not your kids. It has nothing to do with that kind of a partnership. This partnership is the one that empowers you to do all things. And that infinite partnership makes up a majority. The only time it can give up its majority is if you give it up. And you hand it over to someone else to become your majority, to be the one who's thinking for you or doing for you or making decisions for you. But in this business called life, you and that infinite presence are a majority. So what you say is going to go. And you know what your business partner is always going to say? Yes. Try that again. What is your business partner always going to say?
Yes.
Yeah. It's going to conspire to create it for you, fund it for you. It's even going to conspire, hate to say this because it sounds odd, but it could conspire to fail it for you if the seeds of failure have been planted, and that's what you've told it to manifest. Are you with me? So you are in business, and you and God are a majority. You rule, right? You're the domain. You have that dominion over your life. It requires integrity. It requires that you do things and be open and honest about it. Integrity. It's doing the right thing when we know that it's the right thing to do. It's who we are. It's being true to the lives to which we've been called. It's who we are when someone's watching and when there is not a soul in sight. So to live a life of courage also means to live a life of integrity, to be consistent, to have full disclosure, to be honest, to tell people what's going on in your world, and to allow that to be free expression so that you know that when you're in business with God, it's okay to share that information because regardless of what they think, you're still in the majority. Being integrity is following this path no matter what. And the power and courage to do this comes from a deep faith in knowing this: God has my back. Say that, please. God has my back. And I would say this: it has your front and your sides too. Right? God has my back. Say that again, please. God has my back. I did not, and I openly admit that, I did not remember that as they were wheeling me into the ambulance. Fear took over. I forgot to remember that, right? And in that moment, when fear takes over, you know what Dr. Bob Proctor says this about fear. Fear makes you dumb. It's his word, not mine. Fear makes you dumb. And in that moment, I felt that way. I allowed myself to feel powerless, vulnerable. I allowed my thoughts to go places. I actually, to share this. This is my husband, Trey. For those of you who've never seen him before, he's sitting up front, bless his heart, getting put on the spot. But I actually, one of the words I said to him is that I was losing my breath. At one point, I was really struggling to breathe. And the first things that came out of my mouth that I am so sorry for everything I ever did that I hurt you. Didn't I? And I told you how much I loved you, and you said, go to hell. No, you did. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. See, you always look at me that way. But no, I said that because in that moment, it was true. It's like, oh my God, I'm sorry if I ever did anything to hurt you. Because so I wasn't thinking about, oh, you know what? The living trust is on the right-hand cabinet in the office. You know, make sure you call the church and make sure someone subs in for me tomorrow. You know? Those weren't my thoughts. My thoughts were, I need to ask for forgiveness for anything that I've done wrong to the most important people in my life. And I need to remind them that I'm loving and I love them, and I'm sorry if I've ever hurt them or been out of integrity with them or did anything to harm them. That was the most important thing in that moment. And so when I say that God has my back, I have to remember that, so that in that moment, in those moments that we have in our life where we are called to, our faith is called into, and this sounds so much like an Assembly of God sermon. Those moments of time when your faith is being called up, we have to remember to remind, R-E-capital-M. We have to re-God ourselves in those moments. Does that make sense? We have to affirm what's important and affirm that which is good. And it could be challenging. I mean, I know people that are going through chemotherapy and just all kinds of different physical things that it can be gut-wrenching when you're saying, okay, I'm trying to bless the fact that I'm feeling nauseous, Joe. How do I do that? And it's really challenging when you're in a relationship and there's a challenge, and it's really challenging when you have kids. It's really challenging when you're just a person in this universe right now, right? It's really challenging, but we have to go back to God has my back, all is unfolding as it should, my highest and best good, and that I'm being divinely guided to those who are divinely guided for my highest and best good. That's where we go. Together, please. Infinite intelligence governs, guides, directs, sustains, and animates my life. The infinite mind knows no mistake. William, can you turn the ceiling fan on for me, please? What is deep within me is my divine alignment. It is my truth and therefore has all the power of spirit contained in it. What is deep within me is my divine alignment. And I would say this, what is deep within me is my divine assignment. What is deep within you is your divine assignment. And I would say this, it's always love. Your divine assignment has always to do with love or a derivative of love. And so if that's my alignment and that's my assignment, then the universe will always give me what I need to deliver that product in my life, for myself and for others. I shall never want, because the universe resources are unlimited when it comes to the capacity to give of itself through love. The only constriction I have is my business plan that limits the amount that I'm able to take in and that I'm able to receive and give out. That's the only limit to this business, is the limit I have placed on it. I have the courage to offer myself without fear of rejection or approval because I know my true self is empowered by God's love. Let's say that together. I can have the courage to offer myself without fear of rejection or approval because I know my true self is empowered by God's love. And as you slide into your holiday meals with family, let us remember that. And a little advice, take advice as you will. Don't be a volunteer to walk into landmines. And you know where they are. Just because someone throws down the gauntlet doesn't mean you have to pick it up. Do not volunteer to participate in that type of activity this year because it's going to be all around us, right? So we're going to have to make sure that we are standing in our own integrity, and that doesn't mean you have to stand, wave a flag, and give your viewpoint. It just means you can be quiet and say to yourself, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." Forgive them, Father, for they... But don't say it out loud. You'll have a big old fight on your hands, but you just say, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." Where's the pie? Gluten-free. Napoleon Bonaparte said this: "Courage isn't having the strength to go on, it's going on when you don't have the strength." Jerry Lynn saying, I didn't know my own strength. A really good Whitney Houston song. I crumbled, I tumbled, I didn't know my own strength. And a lot of times we don't know our own strength. It's not the strength to go on when you're feeling great, it's when you're not. Courage is saying, and maybe some of you can relate to this when you're going, "Oh my God, I am so done with this. I just don't feel like I can take it anymore." Right? Anybody? Has anyone ever felt like that? Where you go, "I am at the end of my rope, and I am just hanging on by the thread, and I've just about had it." Anybody? Okay. So, you know what? Courage is when we go, "You know what? Regardless of what that is, I'm going to call forward my business partner and know that the universe has my back and that it has all things necessary for me to heal whatever is necessary for me to heal. I will know what I need to know at the moment I need to know it. I will do what I need to do at the moment I need to do it. I will say what I need to say at the moment I need to say it. But I need to know that that is all there for me now. Because if I don't, and I say, and I'm guilty of this, right? I'm guilty of this going, "Oh my God, I just don't know how much more of this I can take." What's the seed I just planted? Have a little more, Joe. Yeah? Anybody? Yeah? Okay. Each time there is the same problem. You say to yourself, "Do I dare do this?" And then if you do dare, the dangers are there and the help is also in the fulfillment or the fiasco. Help is there in the fulfillment and the fiasco. There's always the possibility of a fiasco, but there's also the possibility of happiness. So when you're looking at a question in your life and you're asking yourself, "Well, do I dare do this? Do I dare do this?" You have to ask yourself the question, am I believing in the fabulousness or the fiasco? Am I believing in the right thing, or am I entertaining and planting the seeds of a fiasco? So, yesterday I had a session with Reverend Mary. You know our beloved Reverend Marion? Just one of the wisest women around. She said, "Joe, you have to share this story at the center today." So I have to go to confession. Doing a lot of confession today. So Trey and I have been talking about how we always have good things happen in our life. We're extremely successful. Believe it or not, we're very healthy, and we've got a beautiful daughter and a nice house, and we live in a great area, blah, 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 right? We have all the stuff that people want, and yet there's always something that happens at the end of a demonstration that makes us question, what the heck is going on? Because we get what we want, but there's always a pretty deep price to pay at the end. There's always some sort of disappointment. There's always some sort of letdown, because it's so in other words, we get what we want, but it's like there's always not always there. Anybody can relate to that? Okay. So we sat there, and we're talking with Marion yesterday, and I'm kind of rewinding in the court. We've been together 29 years, so I'm rewinding a long way, going, where did we get this belief? Because if everything is a byproduct of thought, if all thoughts become things, then this is the thought that we've had before. So let's back up. And I can see where it's all happened, but now where did it really start happening? And so when we moved here to the West Coast, Trey was living up in Seattle. I was living in Baltimore. He was doing most of the commuting. We finally had a mutual base in Los Angeles, so we decided to move to Los Angeles. We picked a beautiful little spot. Actually, it was a rundown little apartment, but it was across the beach in Redondo from the ocean, which is exactly what I wanted. I said, if I'm moving to LA, I don't want traffic. I want to hear the ocean. Sand blowing in my front door, fabulous, right? Little rundown apartment. He hated it. I loved it. It was fabulous. But I got this discount on shipping because I work for the airline. I could ship all my boxes for free. So we packed up all of our stuff, we took it to the airport in Baltimore, and we're like, okay, off it goes on an airplane, and we'll meet it when we get to Los Angeles. So we go to Los Angeles to the cargo area to pick it up, and they go, oh, it's not here. Right? What do you mean it's not here? It's not here, we don't have it. And it's been like 3 weeks, and it went by plane. It didn't go by ground GPS, it was by plane. And I'm like, what do you mean? Okay, so for weeks, they never had it. And I'm like, this is my stuff. This is all our stuff. This is blankets. I mean, this is like sheets. This is plates. This is pictures, photo albums, all my good stuff. We just shipped everything by box on the plane because we thought, oh my gosh, it's free. What a good thing, right? So I called our homeowner's insurance, and they said, well, we'll cover it, And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want you to cover it and then it pop up in like 6 weeks and you go, okay, give us all your money back. Because if I'm going to go out and buy new sheets, I don't want to have to take my sheet. You know what I'm saying? So I said to the insurance company, I said, I want to make sure that, so here we're set up for fabulousness, right? And then this little fiasco happens. And the insurance company said, you got to wait 60 days, and after 60 days, we'll write the check, and then if the stuff happens, shows up, then whatever. So just before Christmas, this end of the 60 days was up, and we went and I got our new sheets, and we got new pots and pans, and all that stuff. I'm still missing my mementos, my personal stuff from my entire life is gone. So we went from that fabulous, oh my God, we're moving, oh my God, and then it was like fiasco, oh my gosh. And then we got all this other stuff. It was like, oh my God, okay, this is really nice. And then 2 months later, on the patio of this apartment complex that housed all these apartments, all these dilapidated boxes just show up. We come home one day and they're just all parked right there, and some are ripped open and some are there, but they're there. And it was then in that moment that I was sharing the story with Reverend Mary, and she said, that's where it happened. That's where you started to believe that good things could happen, but it came at a cost and an expense. And I'm thinking, 29 years of that. So Trey and I have some work to do because we have a paradigm, we have a belief system about that particular thing. That every time there's something good could happen, there has to be something that may not be good attached to it. And that's a paradigm. I'm willing to admit that, my weakness, because I figure if I have it, you might have one too. Yeah? Anybody? See, some people are going, no, I would never. Okay, but for the rest of you, yeah. We're part of a good club. The rest of you are going to hell. Okay, so, and together, please. Infinite intelligence governs, guides, directs, sustains, and animates my life. The infinite mind knows no mistake. So everything is a divine unfolding for a higher purpose. We may not understand it at the moment, but if we have a paradigm that we can look at, like Trey and I have something to reflect on, we have something to work on because we don't want to have a good thing happen and then a subsequent disappointment attached to the good thing, but we have a belief system about it, so usually that's exactly what happens. Why? Because the spiritual pasta maker, those of us who would learned about the prayer, takes in that belief system and always gives us a demonstration with a slap. Does anyone else know what I'm talking about? Has anyone had the slap? Okay, so we've created this. You've created that paradigm, and it's up to us to have the courage to rewind our life, take a look at it, and say, how can I apply something differently to this situation so the outcome is different? If we've repeated the pattern for 29 years, it's going to take us a little while to reset this, but we can reset this. We have to reset this, or we will spend the rest of our lives experiencing fabulous by fiasco. Make sense? Last one. Whatever you do, you need courage. Whatever course you decide upon, there is always someone to tell you that you're wrong. There are always difficulties arising that tempt you to believe your critics are right. There's always that element. It's up to us to have the courage to face that and know that when we stand in our true, authentic, courageous self, that's just background noise. And we don't have to pay attention to it. We certainly don't have to embody it and ingest it. You know, turn on the TV and a critic will tell you everything that's going to become wrong with your life. You don't even know it yet, but they're going to tell you about it. It's only true if you plant the seed. It only becomes true when you accept that in your mind. And once you accept it, you own it. And there's going to be a crop full of it, and there's going to be silos filled up and overflowing with that kind of experience. So, there are going to be people out there that are going to say this stuff. Maybe your partner, maybe someone else close to you in your life. Let them have their opinion. You stand in your truth. The universe doesn't know anything about mistakes. It's never set out to make a mistake. It's never set out to get you, to get me. Everything that I've ever done, has ever happened to me, I volunteered for. So as we slide into this beautiful holiday time of year, as we celebrate Hanukkah, as we celebrate Christmas and Kwanzaa, and whatever else you celebrate or not celebrate, I would say this, slide in knowing that God has your back, and it's time for you to stand and authorize your new experience. I have to do it. I'm inviting you to do it, and we're going to do it together. So it is. Thank you, everybody.
So, this is a sacred time of our service as we prepare for our offering. Those of you that are live streaming, please hit the donate button or you can text it. And for us here, this is when we recognize our oneness. We recognize that this is our time to give back where we are spiritually fed. So please join me as we say our offertory prayer, please. I give my offering with gratitude as I recognize the demonstration of Spirit's generosity in all areas of my life.
I release and I let go the spirit of my life.
My heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit.
Francine. All right. So let's hold up our hands. Let's just bless our offering as we say our offertory prayer, please. This collective offering is spirit in action. As it circulates into the universe, it touches and blesses many lives, including my own. Thank you. So take that back. All right. So at this time, I'd like to welcome our visitors. If you are here for the first time, please don't be bashful. Stand up. We have a gift for you, and we'd love to welcome you here. Oh, all right. Jumped up right away. Yes. Welcome. Welcome. So what you've just been given is a CD holder with information about our center. Please stop over at the foyer table and pick up a CD of a couple of Dr. Joe's talks. We welcome you. And if you're visiting from out of the area, please come back. If you're from here, please make this your spiritual home. This is part of our prayer team. They are over in the Om room. If you're going through anything, please stop over there. We have some powerful practitioners. They are amazing prayers, and they'll pray with you. Good time to set an intention maybe for the new year. Don't forget the movie night, free this Wednesday night. We'll be here at the center. Class signups are out there. And then don't forget to bring your blankets and the food they've got all kinds of goodies to buy. There's a bake sale. Oh, look at this. There's some gifts here. I can just tell. There's some little Christmas gifts. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And I know I already said twice they need blankets. So that's important. So anyway, everyone, let's just...
Don't forget to pick up your tickets for the 8 o'clock service, and next week, service is at 10 o'clock.
Yes, there will not be an 11. If you show up at 11, people will be leaving, or 9. There won't be anybody here. So Ruth Ann's service, though, is earlier next week. It will be at, I believe, 8:15 instead of, so to kind of coincide with our first service on Sunday. So I think that's it. Don't forget class signups are out there. If you have any questions, please see us out there. So let's just do a closing prayer. Let's just take a deep breath in. So in this season of that light, that Christ consciousness, the light, each one of us is that light. And so we go forth this week in the courage, the integrity to be who we are and to stand in our truth from a place of love and a place of compassion. We know that whatever we are going through, if we are facing any challenge, we are never alone. God always has our back. And whatever may be happening, we recognize and we know with every fiber of our being that God's Spirit, divine intelligence is bigger than any so-called challenge that we have. And so we stand and we live in that awareness. And we go into our lives with that courage, with that positivity, not focusing on the couldas, but focusing on the what is. And so I just give great thanks for this teaching, great thanks for everyone here that shows up, our musicians, Dr. Joe, our practitioners, our concierge, our staff, our congregation. They are the light. And so I just release my word into the law, knowing that this is the truth for each and every one of us as we say together, and so it is. Amen. Have a wonderful week, everyone. See you Sunday.